We can manually record a credit card payment in QuickBooks Online, so it records onto our register and shows us an updated credit card balance without having to wait for it to clear in the bank. So maybe this is the day that you made that payment, you can come to QuickBooks and record it right away yourself. So by doing this, we're going to see how it affects the register. So we're on the credit card register. This is all sample transactions. But we can see we have this one expense for $520 of office supplies, and that's our credit card balance right now is $520. On the checking account side, we haven't recorded this payment yet, so we just have an opening balance of a pretend $28,000. So here let's see how to actually record this payment. So we're going to come to the plus new button at the very top of the left side menu, plus new. Last column, pay down credit card. So this is where we can just manually record it onto the register ourselves. And we fill out the form. Which credit card did you pay? It was the business credit card. The payee, this is optional, but this will be the name of the credit card company as a vendor. How much did you pay? We'll say that we're making a payment of $500, and we'll say that we paid this on July 1st. What did you use to make this payment? And we'll select the bank account that we used to make that credit card payment. So what bank account is that money going to come out of? It's the business checking. In case you made the credit card payment with a check, you'll check this box that says I made a payment with a check and enter the check number. If you use QuickBooks to print checks though, you will select print later and then you're able to print the checks as you normally do. But if you already wrote the check, you can just enter in the check number here. But if we didn't pay it with a check, we'll just leave that unchecked. We also have the option of entering a memo. Maybe you want to put some notes as a reminder to do with this transaction. You can also include an attachment file as well. Okay, so this is the main thing we need. So over in the top right, we can see the total paid of this card payment is $500. And we're going to save and close. All right, and then we're going to come back to the register. So if I refresh this, I will be able to see how the register is updated. So out of the checking account, we can see $500 is now updated to reflect an accurate bank balance, to reflect this $500 that will be withdrawn. And if I update the credit card register, I can also see I had that $520 charge, but now I can see that I've made a payment of $500. So now we can see our ending balance is $20. So we don't have to wait for this to clear in the bank. We can see the true credit card balance of $20 reflected in our books right away. So now let's see what happens on the bank feed. So if you may not use this feature. So if you don't use this feature where your bank and your credit cards are connected to QuickBooks Online, if you don't use this feature, then you're all done. However, if you use this feature, then your last step is going to be to come here once it clears. So maybe this is a couple days later. It is now cleared in the bank and on the credit card. And so when you come here, your final step is just to match it. Because remember, on the checking account, we recorded it of the $500. But now the $500 has cleared and it has downloaded on the bank feed on this bank transactions page. So what we're going to do is what it's suggesting here. QuickBooks is saying we found a match of $500 already on your register. Is this transaction the same as what's already on your register? So we're going to say yes, match it to that transaction because we don't want to duplicate it. So this is the same thing as the $500 we manually entered onto the register. This is a match, it's the same transaction. And then if you go to the right side, click Go to Bank Register, and then we can see a green box now, and that's telling us that we have matched this and it has cleared in the bank and we have matched it to a transaction that downloaded on that bank transactions page. So now we're done with that transaction on the card side. I'm sorry, on the checking side, but now we need to see it on the credit card side. So if you look at the credit card side, we were also going to match this So $500 payment, notice it's on the right side here in the receive column. It's on the credit card, that $500 payment, and match it. So that's already on the register, so we're going to match it. And then it still shows our $20 credit card balance. We can look at the register for the credit card, and we can see we still have that correct $20 balance. We just additionally have this C that's now cleared in the bank and cleared with the credit card, and we have matched it to the bank feed, and we know that because of this green symbol. If you use the bank transactions page where your bank account and credit card are connected to QuickBooks Online so that they download the transactions, you may decide to wait for the credit card payment to clear in the bank and show up and download on this page. So if you decide to do that instead, then in that case, when we look at the checking register and credit card register, the payment is not on the register yet. So we're just waiting for it to clear, and then we're going to record it. So in that scenario, it's not even on your register yet. It's not reflected on, the balance is not reflecting that payment. So if we wait for it to clear, then we can record it onto the register by doing the following. First, we're going to just make sure that both sides of this credit card payment have downloaded. So in this case, we see $500 is on our list here. It is coming out of the checking account, but also make sure that it is showing up on the credit card list as well. So I can also see July 1st, $500, it's also shown on the credit card list. So just make sure it's on both lists, the checking list and the credit card list, before you enter it. Otherwise, it's very easy for errors to happen and it gets recorded maybe to the wrong credit card, wrong bank account. Things can easily go wrong with that. So just make sure they're downloaded on both sides. So we see it coming out of the checking and going into the credit card. And you'll see this green label, paired to another transaction. So basically what that means, QuickBooks is saying, we are noticing you have $500 here, and we also notice there's a $500 transaction on another account. And maybe this is the same transaction. So this is correct. It is the same transaction. It's a card payment that's simultaneously going out of the checking and towards the credit card. So because of that, QuickBooks realizes this must be the same transaction. So if I were to enter this, it's going to enter it on both sides. It'll enter it on the checking register and the credit card register, which is a good thing. Now, it is a good thing, but it is possible, because it's a software, it is possible that it is pairing it to the wrong transaction. So maybe you have another $500 payment on another credit card, or maybe you have a $500, just a completely separate transaction in another account or on another day. So because of that, it might be linking it to the wrong other end of this transaction. So before we even enter this, we just want to make sure it's paired to the correct transaction. So make sure the selected credit card, this $500 is towards the correct credit card. Is this correct, filled out correctly? Is it paired to the right thing? So it'll show you what's the other side that it's seeing. So it's looking at this credit card payment from July 1st for $500. Now this is a sample transaction, so you'll have a bit more details here that it will be clear if it's looking at the correct other side of this transaction, or if it's trying to pair it to some other $500 transaction. So here you'll be able to see if that's correct or not. So in this case, it is correct. So then all we have to do is click on the right side, add card payment, and it will record this $500 on the checking register and the card register. If for some reason that you see, oh, this is pairing it to the wrong thing, there will be a link in this box here, a link to unpair, so that you can just decide the correct credit card. You can select the correct account that it should be going towards. And then the vendor, we can put the credit card company name as a vendor. At the bottom, you can put a memo. So whatever it says here from the bank, keep that. But at the front, you could put an additional note if you needed it. You can still put an attachment at the top. But in our case, let's just go ahead and add this card payment. and go to the credit card side, and notice because of that green label, it entered it on both sides for us. So we come to the credit card side and it's entered here simultaneously, which is nice. Sometimes it doesn't do that, and I'll show you what it would look like if it didn't. So if you come to the credit card side and it's gone, then QuickBooks added it at the same time for you, so that's good. If it didn't though, it would look like this. Just come to the credit card side, credit card list, and then it'll say one match found, and you'll just match it to what QuickBooks just recorded. So basically the point is make sure that the credit card payment is correctly entered on the checking side and on the credit card side. And let's look at the register. And let's see how the register has changed. So originally we had a $28,000 pretend balance, and notice we just recorded this $500 payment from the bank feed, from the bank transactions page. So now $500 is shown going out from the account, and the balance is lowered. And because we recorded it from the bank feed, then we get this green box and a C that this has cleared in the bank. If we look at the credit card register, we'll see we had that original $520 charge and this $500 payment, which has lowered our credit card balance to now it's just $20. Okay, so that's how to record a credit card payment in QuickBooks Online.